Namaskar to all. Honorable Miss Justice Sonia Gokani, Chief Justice High Court of Gujarat, my esteemed sister and brother judges, Shri Kamalbhai Trivedi, Learned Advocate General, Miss Manisha Law Kumar, Learned Government Pleader, Mr. Mitesh Amin, Learned Public Prosecutor, Mr. Devang Vyas, Learned Additional Solicitor General of India, family members of Justice Gokani, Mr. Anirudh Jhala, Chairman, Bar Council of Gujarat, Shri Prithvi Singh Jadeja, President of Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, Mr. Hardik Brahmbhatt, Secretary, Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, senior advocates, Learned Registrar General, and other members of Registry, members of the Bar, ladies and gentlemen. I feel extremely proud and honored to present this farewell address of distinguished lady, legal luminary, Honorable Miss Justice Sonia Gokani, Chief Justice High Court of Gujarat. The illustrious and multidimensional personality of Honorable the Chief Justice is difficult to be narrated in brief, as words would be too small to describe the numerous qualities she possesses. Her ladyship was born on 26 February 1961 at Jamnagar in the reputed family of Dr. Girdhar Gokani and Mangalaben. I am aware about today's news item with regard to views of Honorable the Chief Justice, how a judge should be addressed. But to change the habit, it will take some time. So I request to pardon Chief Justice if I address her as ladyship or the Chief Justice. Chief Justice Sonia Ben had her schooling in Arya Samaj Girls School and DCC School at Jamnagar. Her ladyship pursued graduation in microbiology at Rajkot. After studying the law and obtaining the degree of LLM from Shri K.P. Shah Law College, Jamnagar, her ladyship started her practice in the year 1986 at Jamnagar District Court in the chambers of H.O. Brahmbhatt, former DGP in Jamnagar District Court. Her ladyship extended her services as member in District Consumer Redressal Forum at Jamnagar from 1990 to 1995 and also offered her services as lecturer at Shri K.P. Shah Law College, Jamnagar. Considering the legal acumen, Honorable Ladyship was appointed as a judge, City Civil and Sessions Court, Ahmedabad on 10th July 1995. While acting as a City Sessions Judge, Ladyship proceeded with many chronic criminal trials under POTA and TADA Act and delivered some of the landmark verdicts like Haran Pandya assassination case. The decision was upheld by Honorable the Apex Court. From 2003 to 2008, Honorable Ladyship also served as a special judge, CBI Court. Thereafter, in March 2008, her ladyship was appointed as Registrar Recruitment at High Court of Gujarat before being appointed as Registrar IT, and within 18 months as Registrar in both this field. This court has helped the court in smoothing the administration in both these subjects. On 17 February 2011, her ladyship deservingly was elevated as an additional judge of High Court of Gujarat and was confirmed as permanent judge on 28/1/2013. After elevation as a judge, within a short span, each of us present in this hall found that Justice Sonia Ben is a fearless, hardworking and disciplined, but a kind-hearted judge. The judicial acumen of her ladyship is appreciated by all associated with justice delivery system. Compassionate but assertive approach of her ladyship can definitely be cited as an illustration to be an ideal judge. There are no two views that each one of sitting on the dais today is required to learn from the Chief Justice, that how a patient hearing can be given to the lawyers or even a party appearing in person. As a High Court judge, Honorable Ladyship has delivered many landmark judgments. I am sure that Learned Advocate General and President of Bar Association would explain the same, and therefore I am not repeating. I would not like to say in detail. Honorable Ladyship was appointed as Chairman, High Court Legal Services Committee in October 2021, where the function of revamping of panel of advocates of High Court Legal Services Committee was done in the most effective manner by giving equal representation to lady advocates. On 11/7/2022, her ladyship was nominated as Executive Chairperson of Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, and during her term as an executive chairperson, many unique initiatives have been undertaken by Gujarat State Legal Services Authority, which are as under: establishment of socio-psycho-care center for the jail inmates for reformation, rehabilitation, and reintegration at Sabarmati Central Jail. Let me say that we have in recent past, some of her ladyship and some of our judges visited Central Jail, where a musical program was arranged, and even jail inmates participated in that program, and all of them were overwhelmed with the activity initiated by Justice Gokani. Disposal of more than 10 lakhs cases in 4 national Lok Adalats organized under the leadership of Honorable Ladyship. Comprehensive outrage and awareness campaign on the POXO Act in the name of style, Bachpan Sanskar Shan, for 25 days. Release of Gujarat version of law for common man in the name and style, Jan Samast Ane Kaydo, the book that gives understanding of more than 35 subjects of law in the simple most language. Constitution of Nirbhaya Brigade, wherein more than 300 students of higher secondary schools of various districts of the state were selected for spreading awareness about the POXO Act after giving them orientation training. The said initiative has been appreciated by Honorable the Supreme Court of India in symposia organized at New Delhi. Inauguration of Office of Legal Aid Defense Council system in 20 identified districts of state and organizing orientation training program to the newly appointed Legal Aid Defense Councils. Offering music therapy from therapy cum vocational guidance training to the children who need care and protection, as well as children in conflict with law and jail inmates at Sabarmati Jail, and are also planning to carry this activity in other jail like Rajkot, Vadodara, Surat. The role over NALSA's Legal Service of Differently Abled Children Scheme 2021 also launched at Jamnagar. Various 40 hours mediation training programs for advocate of Ahmedabad, Surat, Rajkot and Jamnagar was also one of the program conducted under her leadership. Conducting various holistic well-being programs like yoga, vipassana, breathing exercising, Sudarshan Kriya, etc. at various central jail of the state. Organizing online address of Honorable the Governor of State of Gujarat on subject of natural farming was also been appreciated by all. Establishing of victimology center and many more. Let me declare that even today, we are going to launch under her leadership about 3 programs. One is for victimology center, namely Sangathi, a one-stop specific restoration care victimology center named, as I said, Sangathi. Then another is implementation of National Court Case Information System for Arbitration Center of the High Court of Gujarat. And thirdly, Judicial Officer Help Desk for Information Technology. So it is called JOHIT. These are the activities within no time she has undertaken, which is appreciated by one and all. Her ladyship thereafter came to be appointed as the acting Chief Justice of High Court of Gujarat with effect from 13 February 2023, before being appointed as Chief Justice of the High Court of Gujarat on 16 February 2023. The never say die attitude of her ladyship has been observed and appreciated by all the stakeholders during her term as a Chief Justice. Finally, at the time when Honorable Miss Justice Gokani is set to demit the office for the retirement, on my behalf and on behalf of my all sister and brother judges, I wish Honorable Ladyship active, healthy and long life. Thank you.
Honorable the Chief Justice and all the Honorable Judges of the High Court of Gujarat present over here, learned government law officers, Chairman of the Bar Council of Gujarat, President and other office bearers of our High Court Advocates Association, Registrar General, and all the registrars heading various departments, members of the Registry of the High Court of Gujarat, distinguished gathering of the legal fraternity of the state, Her Ladyship's family members, invited dignitaries and guests. We have gathered here today to bid farewell to Her Ladyship, Honorable Miss Justice Sonia Gokani, at the time of her laying down the office of the Chief Justice of the High Court of Gujarat by dint of her retirement. On behalf of the bar and the legal professionals in the state, I associate myself with the profound feelings of affection expressed by His Lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice Ashish Bhai Desai, on this occasion. It is indeed a spell of mixed feeling in all of us. A feeling of happiness is there to believe that Her Ladyship is always going to be there with us, providing constant inspiration and motivation as one of the important members of the judicial fraternity of the state. And at the same time, there is a feeling of sadness that we are going to miss the presence of a very pious and judicious soul in this courtroom of the High Court of Gujarat now onwards. It is said that our lawyer's profession is a noble profession. Its nobility is maintained because there are protectors like Chief Justice Gokani, who has always lived up to the highest standard of integrity, honesty, and sincerity. At this stage, it would not be out of place to look back and warmly reflect on the journey so far undertaken by Her Ladyship, as was referred to by my Lord Justice Desai. An eldest sibling amongst 3 sisters and 2 brothers in the family of Dr. Giridhar Bhai and Manglaben Gokani is none other than Her Ladyship, having born on 26th February 1961 at Jamnagar. Because of very cultured and candid parents, Justice Gokani had imbibed lessons of honesty, integrity, truthfulness, and fearlessness right from the childhood. While doing schooling and college in Jamnagar, Her Ladyship had achieved excellence in diverse fields unknown to many of us, that she was very proficient in studies, sports, oil painting, and elocution competition by always getting a higher rank. Her Ladyship has also a distinction of being a Visharad in an exquisite and graceful Indian classical dance Kathak. After finishing schooling, was desirous of becoming a doctor by following the footsteps of her father, who was a great authority in Ayurveda and naturopathy. For this, she studied very hard in the first 2 years of college in science stream. However, as destiny had willed otherwise, Her Ladyship missed to get into medicine due to the shortage of only 3 marks. These had led to taking up the subject of microbiology and obtain a bachelor degree in science stream while securing first rank in the university. Thereafter, there was a complete U-turn in the career, wherein Her Ladyship did graduation and post-graduation in law from Saurashtra University. And after having been enrolled at the bar on 14 December 1987, joined the office of a reputed and respected senior advocate at Jamnagar, Sri Hasmukhbhai Odhavji Bhatt, popularly called Sri H.O. Bhatt, and soon established herself as a formidable lawyer. While practicing, Her Ladyship was also a visiting lecturer in K.P. Shah Law College at Jamnagar, and also appointed as a member of the District Consumer Disputes Redressal Forum for nearly 5 years. As an advocate, worked with various organizations for the cause of downtrodden women and children, and also for upholding the cause of environment. Joined judiciary directly in the cadre of district judges as a judge, City Civil and Sessions Court, Ahmedabad on 10 July 1995, and presided over many civil and criminal matters. After establishment of special court under the anti-terrorist laws in the state of Gujarat, worked as a special judge for this court and conducted important matters from 2003 to 2008. Worked as a judge, special court CBI for the cases investigated by CBI. Deputed in March 2008 to the High Court of Gujarat as Registrar Recruitment for recruitment of judicial officers up to the cadre of district judges. Served also as Registrar IT and Infrastructure for nearly 18 months, during which period made presentation at different national forums and was also a visiting faculty member at Gujarat State Judicial Academy and other academic institutions. On 17 February 2011, elevated as additional judge of the High Court of Gujarat and confirmed as permanent judge on 28 January 2013. After having been the acting Chief Justice for a short duration, Justice Gokani came to be sworn in as the first woman Chief Justice of the High Court of Gujarat on 16 February 2023. Thus, Justice Gokani's journey started in the state judiciary, from judgeship of the City Civil Court leading to the highest post of the Chief Justice of the High Court, which has created a sense of enlightenment. It was indeed a very proud moment for all of us when her ladyship was sworn in as the first woman Chief Justice of our High Court on 16 February 2023, and that too when the world is celebrating 100th anniversary of International Women's Day. Notably, it was 100 years ago that as a result of the crusade of a distinguished law graduate from Oxford University, Miss Cornelia Sorabji, the legal profession had thrown open its doors to the female population of India with an enactment of the Legal Practitioners Women Act 1923, enacted on 4th February 1923, to remove the basis of the judgment dated 29th August 1916 of the full bench of Bombay High Court in case of Regina Guha, and the judgment dated 28th November 1921 of the full bench of Patna High Court in case of Sudhanshu Bala Hajra, inter alia holding that women applicants are not entitled to be enrolled as pleaders, even though in point of intelligence and education, competency of women are at least equal to a great many and possibly even better than many of the male candidates. Thus, this year of 2023 has been proved to be an important year in the annals of High Court of Gujarat. Though English lawyers are not known for doing tittle-tattle, there is a popular saying in English bar that gossip in the corridor of a barroom is a barometer of the performance of the honorable judge in the courtroom. I must say that the gossip in the barroom of our High Court clearly suggests that her ladyship is modest, astute, courteous, and at the same time assertive with smiling face all throughout the day. Her ladyship's observance of utmost dignity and decorum in judicial conduct, very calm and modest way of dealing with the learned advocates of our bar, and grant of patient hearing to one and all have made a very deep imprint in the minds of the members of the bar during the term of the office as the judge and also as the Chief Justice of the High Court of Gujarat. During this period, Justice Sonia has had occasion to deal with various issues of law wherein landmark judgments have been handed down, a list whereof is unending. But each of them bespeaks about the pragmatic approach of an experienced judge laying down fine propositions of law practically in all the fields, like constitutional law, service law, direct and indirect tax laws, civil and criminal laws, land acquisition law, environment law, intellectual property laws, and so on. Her ladyship's recent intervention in public interest litigation, seeking teaching of Gujarati language compulsorily at all schools in the state, irrespective of the boards they are affiliated with, has motivated the state government to propose the enactment of a law in that behalf. Apropos the state development, a renowned post-modern poet, Sri Udayan Thakkar, has recently written, I quote, 17મી સદીમાં ગુજરાતી ભાષાનું મૂલ્ય ઘણું નીચું, માત્ર 4 પૈસા અંકાતું હતું. અને તે અનુસંધાને પ્રેમાનંદ ભટ્ટને આ વાતનું લાગી આવેલું અને તેઓએ પ્રણ લીધેલ કે જ્યાં સુધી મારી ભાષાને સન્માન નહીં મળે ત્યાં સુધી પાઘડી નહીં પહેરું. તે વખતે એક કહેવત પ્રચલિત હતી, અબે તબે કા 16 આના. Abe tabe was a word in Hindi whose value was at that time 16 annas in 1 rupee. 1 rupee was equivalent to 16 annas. Abe tabe ka 16 ana, athe kate ka bar. Athe kate is a Marwadi word which was valuing at 12 annas. Abe tabe ka 16 ana, athe kate ka bar, ikadam tikadam 8 ana. So Marathi was having value of 8 annas. Ikadam tikadam 8 ana, shusha paisa char. Shusha is a Gujarati. So at value at that price only 4 paisa. And quote, after the passing of the orders by Justice Gokani ji in this matter, poet Udayan Thakkar concludes in this fashion, I quote, Ganu juo Gokani, shusha paisa charni tabe kariyapi athani, end quote. As we all know, Mira's famous pad is Hari tum haro janaki bheer. Mira always prayed for well-being of all human beings with the fondest hope that pain and suffering of all people may be removed. The message of Mira is inscribed in the heart of Justice Gokani, which has been recently reflected in an order passed in suo motu proceeding relating to calamity of collapse of suspension bridge in Morbi, wherein her ladyship directed the grant of further compensation to the tune of rupees 10 lakhs in case of each of the 135 deceased persons and rupees 2 lakhs to each of the injured persons. Whereas salient contributions and achievements of Justice Gokani on the administrative side of our High Court are innumerable. I may not be repeating, since my Lord Justice Desai had referred to all those activities in extenso. How can I forget to mention that her ladyship is sincerity personified? Chief Justice's commitment towards judicial work is so intense that at times it goes beyond usual working hours of our court, which reminds us about the bell of justice in 16th century in our country, where anyone meted out with injustice could ring the said bell of justice at any point of time. Justice Gokani has been a great follower of Vilma Tai Thakur, a living reconciliation of Pujya Gandhiji's activism with Sri Krishnamurti's spirituality. In a younger career, Justice Gokani had presented a beautiful oil painting of Mother Mary and Jesus Christ done by herself to Vimlaji. And at that time, the blessings given by Vimla Tai to her ladyship were in these loving words. I can't resist my temptation to quote it. I quote, "Tari આંગળીઓના ટેડવે નર્તન કરનારી કળીને સાચવજે. તારા હૈયાના હિંડોળે હિંડોળનારી રસિકતાને જીવાડજે. ક્યારેય કરમાઈશ નહીં, ક્યારેય મુંજાઈશ નહીં. પ્રભુ તને સદા સર્વદા સંભાળશે." End quote. All that we would like to do at this juncture is to convey our best wishes that Almighty may shower upon her ladyship the choicest blessings. I also feel it appropriate to allude to a shloka from Sanskrit Subhashit. I quote, "Nayadishaha sadhumaya, gnanaya danaya cha rakshanaya." Meaning thereby, a judge is saint when one uses knowledge for imparting education, wealth for doing charity, and power to protect and provide relief to deserving. This also conveys that if one intends the welfare of the others, nothing prevents one from accomplishing the same. And this has been the motto of our ladyship while undertaking the task of dispensation of justice. Madam Chief Justice, we will miss you dearly and remember you fondly. I take this opportunity on behalf of the state, the legal fraternity of the state, as well as on my own behalf to wish your ladyship a peaceful and meaningful retired life with robust health and unfading enthusiasm. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to all. Honorable Justice Sonia Gokani, Chief Justice, High Court of Gujarat, Honorable Judges of the High Court of Gujarat, family members of Justice Gokani, learned senior advocates, and my esteemed colleagues at the bar. Today we have gathered here to bid an affectionate farewell to Honorable Miss Justice Sonia Gokani, the First Lady Chief Justice of Gujarat. It is a matter of great pride and honor for me to stand here today and address the bar on this great occasion of a lifetime. Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Farewells are usually sad affairs, but when we look at the status and stature of the person, along with the achievements made by the individual to whom we are bidding farewell, the sadness gets transformed into a sense of satisfaction, happiness, pride, and honor. Justice Gokani, whom we are bidding farewell today, has achieved so much in life which others could only dream of. After 63 long years, Gujarat got its first Lady Chief Justice after Justice Gokani was sworn in on 16th February 2023. The best part is that Gujarat got a Gujarati as its first Lady Chief, a combination which would be rare to find in future and would hardly come again in our lifetime. Justice Gokani has made each member of the bar proud and happy on her well-deserved appointment as Chief Justice. Today, I will also thank the Supreme Court Collegium for recommending Justice Gokani as our Chief Justice. The great legal acumen, intellect, and experience gained over the years by Justice Gokani could be seen in her judgments. The way she conducted her court, at times by sitting till late in the evenings without looking at the watch, is something rare. The only thing goes to show the hard work and dedication put in by her in deciding cases all these years. She gave a human touch to all her judgments and conducted cases very calmly in court and decided cases in a very practical manner. My memory takes me back to a case where Justice Gokani, while sitting as a single judge, after detailed hearing, ordered to hand over custody of a child to his paternal aunt and uncle after the death of his father, and not to the mother who had come from US seeking custody of the child. During the hearing of the case, Justice Gokani took that extra effort to ascertain the real situation and spoke to the child like a mother to make him feel comfortable. Recently, Justice Gokani was part of the bench which passed a judgment on ad hoc lecturers in government colleges, wherein she granted them payment of minimum of basic pay scale instead of fixed pay, wherein thousands of employees working on fixed pay for more than 10 years would be benefited. As chairperson of the State Legal Service Authority, she conducted the 40-hour training program for fresh mediators after a span of nearly 16 years. Mediation being very important these days as a strong tool of the alternate dispute redressal mechanism. In this short span of 10 days, Justice Gokani has looked into long pending issues concerning the bar. As I had mentioned in the welcome speech, within these 10 days as Chief Justice, Justice Gokani has taken up long pending issues of the bar, especially the ones related to the lady members of the bar. It is with great sense of pride and happiness that I stand here today stating that the issue pertaining to the usage of creche facility in the registry of the High Court by the members of the bar has been approved and allowed. And from now on, all members of the bar will be able to use the said creche facility. Another important issue was of installation of sanitary pad disposal machine and sanitary pad incinerators in the High Court campus. This was a very, very long pending demand of the lady members of the bar. And I am happy to say that within 2 days, Justice Gokani made sure that these machines are put up at all important places, and those have now become functional also. On behalf of the bar members, I thank you for these important decisions taken by you for the benefit of the members of the bar. This shall be remembered by us all for a very, very long time. Justice Gokani is a living example which teaches all of us that sincerity, honesty, and perseverance in one's work life always give great results. These qualities of Justice Gokani has been not only a motivational factor to me, but to many juniors like me who have come up in contact with her. Although we all would have loved to have Justice Gokani continue as our Chief Justice for a longer period, but that is not in our hands, unfortunately. On the eve of her retirement, I am happy that now she will get more time to spend with family and friends. I wish you good luck and all the very best to do things which you desired the most, but could not do so due to your professional obligations. I wish you a long, healthy, and meaningful retirement. I am sure you are not going to sit idle at home looking at your workaholic nature. I look forward to your activities post-retirement for the betterment of humanity and our society at large. Madam, we wish you all that you may desire in life. We wish you happiness, good health, and all that God can gift you. As the First Lady Chief Justice of Gujarat, you have shown the way to aspiring young lawyers that nothing is impossible in life and one can achieve everything in life if one so desires. You shall always be a guiding force and inspiration to all of us. On behalf of the Gujarat High Court Advocates Association, and so also on my behalf, I wish you all the very best. Thank you.
my esteemed colleague, Brother Justice Desai, who has been also as the acting Chief Justice of this state. Honorable and dear sisters and brothers, respected Advocate General, Shri Kamal Bhai, learned government leader, Manisha Ben, respected Mitesh Bhai, public prosecutor, respected senior advocates, members of the bar, Chairman Bar Council, respected President and his worthy team, all other advocates, Registrar General and his team, and dear friends and my family. Namaskar. My deepest gratitude for each one of you, a potential divine and my co-travelers on my professional and personal journey, and also for heartwarming expressions of love, warmth, and respect. After all this, it has become very difficult to even speak. I'm truly indebted to each one of you. Let me begin this journey with the salutation to the founding mothers and fathers of the Constitution and the court of Sri Hansa Mehta, one of the most respected members of the Constituent Assembly out of 11 mighty women. I quote, "The future constitution of the country will affect both men and women equally. Women, therefore, have as much interest in it, that is, Constituent Assembly, as men have. Perhaps more, for women would like to see that the new constitution is based on democratic principles and that no disability attaches to any citizen on the grounds of caste, creed, or sex, and that it provides equal rights and equal opportunities for women in all spheres of human activities." Being the first woman Chief Justice of the state of Gujarat after 63 years, I acknowledge with humility the great deal of pain and care taken by our framers to ensure that fruits of those seeds are experienced generation after generations. It is a matter of honor, and one feels privileged to occupy the chair adorned by some of the chief architects and champions of human rights and judicial activism, Honorable Justice Shri P.N. Bhagwati, Shri B.J. Diwan, Shri Bhattacharya ji, and many whom I cannot name all because of the shortage of time. Let me acknowledge with a gratitude the trust reposed by Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Dr. Chandrachud, and Honorable members of Collegium and Honorable other judges of the Supreme Court of India for this rare opportunity to serve my own mother institution and the state of Gujarat. The Constitution of India is always considered a tool of emancipation capable of creating, in the words of Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, I quote, "constructive citizenship," unquote. For being the citizens of this nation, what is far more important is to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideal, for which the commitment is needed on the part of each one of us. To be guided by the Constitution of India the moment we step out of our home and nothing else. Our first Solicitor General had used to say that a judge should be above himself. It is so vital for every countryman to become the citizen, to fulfill his obligation and to be above himself when he performs his duties as a professional. For the rule of law to continue, which supports the equality of all citizens before the law, secures non-arbitrary form of government and prevents the arbitrary use of power, citizenry needs to be stronger, and so would be a need for a strong and independent judiciary. Democracy, since rests on three pillars, and the judiciary, which is armed with the powers to interpret the Constitution, also keeps every organ of the state within the limit of the law. Therefore, the judicial independence is of vital importance. Judges with unlimited powers are also having matching accountability and equal amount of transparency. Again, these two are interdependent. Mark Tushnet's idea of judicial accountability has been reflected by His Lordship Justice Chandrachud, the Senior Justice Chandrachud. I quote, "Judicial accountability traces itself from the oath of office and nature of the judicial power itself. In a broader sense, however, there is a significant public interest in ensuring the smooth and efficient functioning of the justice delivery system, consistent with the requirement of justice in individual cases. The legitimacy of the institution, which depends on the public trust and is a function of an assurance that the judiciary and the people that work are free from bias and partiality. I unquote. As the bar is the source of enriching the judiciary, let these basic values be always strengthened on day-to-day basis. To my young friends in the judiciary and law, I wish the courage and fearlessness, courage to adhere to your truth, to listen to that voice inside you that knows what is right and what is not, as righteousness is a quality of every individual. To stay firm in your convictions and yet be open-minded to allow others to voice theirs. Courage to stand up for the democracy, that is a gift of which we are grateful couriers. To be strong vehicle to impart justice as justice is meant to be imparted. Fearlessness to withstand everything and be the champion of the cause, to fight wherever is the injustice and brazen attempt to silence those voices. I pray you the quality of unshakable faith in the goodness of human being to mold and shape everyone. I and my friend are on a journey of steep mountain, said Khalil Gibran. When he cheats me or robs me, he makes me lighter and increases his own burden. Let us not be bothered about how others act or respond. We are here to sing our own songs, to be an instrument of verdict that holds value and veracity. As my guide Vimla Takar used to tell, Palbharnu Alas nahi, and Rati Bharno Pramad nahi. Every single decision we make during our tenure of service affects several lives, sometimes changing them permanently. I'm sure, like myself, several judges must have felt, what have we done to deserve the power we wield over other people's lives? To them, I would say that my mentor and teacher, Sri Gajera sir, used to tell while teaching Bhagavad Gita that while punishing and judging, one needs to deal with an outer ego of a man in a manner it needs to be dealt with. But in the ultimate reality, we must remember and shall never forget that he and I are the same divinity. I would embark upon a journey of a young girl who joined the law. She was always needed to understand as to what she needs to do in her life, but never to litigate. It was this scientific fervor within which had always drawn her to the medical field, and the family atmosphere also was conducive for the same. It was eventually when the strike on account of reservation continued for 1.5 years, the advantage was to pursue the studies at leisure, and instead of joining the MSc Microbiology, one entered this field, but it was not accidental. One had always wanted to do this, and this field, the width and the breadth and the magnitude had captivated her. Some of the professors who were also practicing advocates, namely Shri Kanara sir, Shri Takwani sir, were instrumental in deepening the interest in law. My professors, Shri Yogesh Mehta, Shri Dr. Indrayan, my guide, and others at the Department of Law while pursuing LLM had strengthened the conviction of continuing my career in law. The litigation, though, was not a priority, out of curiosity and out of the interest to always champion the cause. One had actually gone for the field work. One had chosen to join the senior's office as there was no soul in the legal profession known to her. His magnanimity and personal and parental care, as also enormous trust in allowing to argue all disputed civil matters, had resulted into developing the love for this profession. I distinctly remember the first day in the court when an appeal from the municipal corporation was contested against the Brook Bond of India. One of the senior advocate was contesting, when another senior had heard arguing that the arguments he thought was possible because since one was pursuing some courses and the studies at MS University that one had practiced at Vadodara. He asked whether I had practiced. She politely answered that the proficiency is the courtesy of her father, who tolerated her arguments, her debates on every issue where she would not agree right from the childhood. Any injustice or any aberration had always kindled a flame to fight against the same. With the God's grace, that flame has continued till date. At the initial stage, when she entered the profession, there were 2 to 3 women advocates in Mofussil town. There were many issues. I would remember distinctly, one of them was Parthiben, and she had always taken care like, sister or mother. There were many issues coupled with those which came, but the cooperation from many seniors was also to be remembered. One of the instances which one would remember on the first day of entering the court is that one senior advocate of the bar had taken to a place where the argument was going on, and he advised not to do or not to argue the manner in which it was being argued. And this lesson had remained all throughout. As a young female lawyer, acclimatization in the field is quite a task, more so in the year 1985, 86, when many of you possibly were not even born. However, those challenges also had shaped the journey. There were difficulties, and I must acknowledge with gratitude that many of my colleagues, seniors, respected judges who had adorned the bench at the district judiciary were very, very supportive, and also had sustained the enthusiasm to change the world that may have been presented, knowing fully well that it was a utopian thought. While pursuing the thesis on consumer and law, the Consumer Protection Act was at a nascent stage. One could notice the recognition that had come because of the interest from the state government, which was in the service of appointing the members of District Consumer Forum. That experience of about 4 years had deepened the love for imparting justice, and yet one was not prepared to join the institutionalized service or system of dispensation of justice. The City Civil Court came after the recommendation from the learned district judge, Shri P.J. Dolakia, who insisted for appearing before the High Court for interviews as one of the candidates out of 59 candidates. It is given to understand by His Lordship Justice Kirpal that more meritorious were taken always for the City Court, and then started the journey for the judiciary. Justice Kirpal, I would remember at this stage when we had gone for a courtesy meeting, the 2 things he had said, that when in the evening you go back home, let the chair not be carried there. Another thing he had said was that no matter how bulky a matter may look, but there could not be more than 2 to 3 law points. So therefore, let that bulk not deter you. We still remember. And the third aspect he said is that people would always respect the chair that where you are adorning right now, but let there come a time when the respect be for the person who sits on the chair. I would share this all, the personal journey, for many of my young friends who are here and who have started the profession, many of the young girls also who have come or who are aspiring to come. Just needed to tell that you're not the only one who may be suffering, who may be having some kind of doubts, and who may be also wondering as to whether this is a journey worth pursuing. I would say with firm conviction that yes, it is, and everyone must do that. Entering the City Court and meeting many friends, all throughout came, the list is endless. To name a few, Her Ladyship Justice Bela Trivedi, Justice P.P. Bhatt, Shri Pranavbhai Desai, Justice Bankim Mehta, Justice Shukla, Justice Shah, Justice Vora. There are so many more. The trial court judiciary has its own challenges, which are very inherent, which needs to be addressed by those who sit on the chair as the presiding officers. It is a challenge, but worth taking. I must say, and at this stage, that City Court, since was also considered as a stepping stone for the High Court, many of the seniors from the High Court had come to contest on the civil and the criminal side, and they had aided and enriched my journey. The City Court Bar had always been very understanding and had always remained warm and contributed considerably in shaping the career. One incident which needs to remember at this stage is about how the sensitivity can be enhanced, particularly when you deal with the witnesses and the victims at a ground level. It was a young girl who had been a victim of rape at the age of 12 years, whose mother was mentally challenged. And by the time the father, who was a rickshaw driver, came to know that she was pregnant, made pregnant by his own friend who was around 45 years. And when the doctors refused to terminate the pregnancy because it was at a very advanced stage, hailing from the Uttar Pradesh, the family had chosen to go back to save their faces. When came the time for the trial, the summons were to be sent. The police personnel who was sent with the summons came back for the first time, returning it with the tears in his eyes. And he said, "Ma'am, I could not serve. And can you believe they had not even a pie to offer me even the cup of tea?" He said, "As you know, that the witness bhatta or the witness allowance, it was such a paltry sum and not much change has come. But at that point, it was barely 65 paisa or 75 paisa or 1.25 paisa. And it was a time that there no way they could have traveled. This witness, since was necessary to be brought because she was the rape victim. When she came, it was because the tickets were sent, drawing the amount by much struggle and by a judicial order that it has to be sent, otherwise the trial could not continue. When she came, she was a child herself, so tiny, and she had another child in her lap. The sight was quite moving. The father wept, and he did it while deposing. He pleaded, virtually implored, that let the child be given in orphanage because he has 5 daughters and the wife is mentally challenged. He cannot take additional burden, nor can he just face the society with this young child. I must remember the additional public prosecutor, Shri Hemabin Rajput, a very sensitive prosecutor who immediately made arrangement by evening with Maipatram Ashram and the trustee. One of them is Shri N.R. Patel, the senior advocate at the City Court. He was gracious enough to do the best for the family. The stark reality every day makes you more sensitive, and that fervor within continues with those realities. Knowing fully well and remembering Kaka Kalelkar, that I cannot remove the salt of the entire ocean, but an attempt can be made to clean the water which I have in my hands. We may all dream bigger, but we shall act as per the reality. Whatever is the role one has been assigned, if one can sincerely and consciously continue to do this, the existence is always there to assist and help, and the assistance would come in different forms, from different corners, taking his form only. Initially, a doubt was lurking as to whether one can work, after having worked with the NGOs, in solitude as a judge. The seclusion of the judiciary is not always suitable to everybody. One realized, and as when one realized, that the scope of the service is enormous, and it has been something which can be always, after one actually gives it a try, there was a call to be taken. And I can say that, as again would remember Shivamlaji, who had said that while balancing outside, the inner balance would always be struck. This is a continuous journey. Each one has joined would agree that it is beautiful and yet challenging. One needs to remember that it is a fight which one will need to take it alone. And this is to initiate, even as a member of district judiciary, lot can be done. I would recollect with gratitude that some of the seniors in the High Court who have wholeheartedly supported with conviction when there was a need, when one was brought here from district judiciary or from the City Court to the registry. My journey as a presiding officer of anti-terrorist court and thereafter in the judiciary had been quite enriching. Each day had made me learn a lot. My special concern for the families of the jail inmate had essentially deepened when one worked for 4.5 years at Sabarmati Central Jail. They are those people, especially the family members, who are the victims, who suffer for no fault of theirs. One had always attempted to strike a balance, to dispense with the justice in accordance with the law. However, when it comes to dealing with those in the role of loco parenting, each one of us needs to approach it differently. Having traveled back at the bench in the year 2011, there was no looking back. I met various colleagues who really had shaped me. I would, with gratitude, remember Justice Radhakrishnan, whose parental care and concern had no bounds. Justice Mohit Shah, Justice Akhil Qureshi, Justice Anand Dave, Justice J.M. Panchal, Justice M.B. Shah, Justice Thakkar as seniors who were already in the Supreme Court and had taught many lessons with their humility and personal care. My own colleagues who are so dear, I have no words, the past and the present, to express their support, their love, and their understanding. They had never gone back. I wish each one of them the sky and the sea. I would cherish the fond memories of each one of them, and I could feel the cooperation and comradeship. I cannot miss remembering, of course, my own family. To my family, dear sisters and brothers, nephews and nieces, uncles and aunts, cousins, without whose steadfast support, I would not have been able to give justice to the justice, the people so graciously attached to our names. Thank you for tolerating all those years of missing meals. Sleeping in my home office, and my refusal to participate. When you needed me the most. I was not available most of the times, while each one of you remained constantly present for attending to my smallest requirements. Hopefully now, I may be able to give a little more of myself to you and catch that old movies, make trips, and have fun. The Dandal Damal, which Justice Bela Trivedi had said the other day. If not for my father, whose truthfulness and fearlessness, scientific precision and ability to respond in the present moment, which I have always held as a benchmark, trying to emulate my mother's joyfulness, effortless magnanimity, and great aesthetic qualities, which have always helped me in crucial moments and otherwise, be it in my professional or personal interactions. Without their blessings and rock-steady foundation, I cannot imagine being where I am right now. Several people have guided me and shaped me in both my judicial and personal journey. Some of them I've named, some of them I could not, but to each one of them, from the bottom of my heart, I'm grateful. Several colleagues have become best friends and now the family. I consider myself fortunate that our paths have crossed and made this journey all the more beautiful, enjoyable, and a process of effortless learning. Honorable Justice Bela Trivedi is one such person who deserves a special mention in that list for being a constant and equal companion in sadness as well as happiness, right from our initial years in judiciary till today. She's always reminded one of the story of Richard Beck in his book, There is No Place as Far Away, to her parents and her family, her sisters, brothers, and all. I'm always the fourth daughter, enjoying equal share, right in everything without any obligations and responsibilities. I would remember at this stage. Justice Ahluwalia, Mrs. Ahluwalia, whose humility and warmth have touched every soul who have come in their contact. Justice Sharma and Rasmiji, Justice Meena Gombar, and many more who've been the part of my journey. I thank the registrars and other officers in the High Court who selflessly assisted me in the administration of the High Court. I would remember Mrs. Meena Panchal for her unfailing support at the initial stage. She had taught many things about the High Court rules and the registry. I also take this opportunity to express my heartfelt gratitude towards my team of personal staff assisting me at the court as well as my residents. Mr. Akar Trivedi, now the civil judge, Mr. Sudhir Achyutan, Mr. Mirza, Ms. Bhumi, who are my private secretaries. They've been my real soldiers in the field. I also thank Mr. Prakash Talreja, who worked with me as private secretary and guided beautifully. I also must thank unfailingly Mr. Naval Gajjar, my court master, who's done a tremendous job on day-to-day basis. I also thank my Chowkidar, Mr. Pandey, Peon Naresh Sutaria, driver Mr. Ajay Patel, who has not seen day or night and had been always with every one of us. My security personals, Mr. Atul Damor, Mr. Lakshman Bhai Makwana, Gulab Singh, Ramesh Bhai, who all work tirelessly day and night. I also thank Mr. Vijay Pote, Hina Parmar, Anil Bhai, Mehul Dora, Roop Singh, who all worked at my residence and never had even looked at the watch. I would not miss to name Registrar General, who himself and the entire team has worked. I'd really made them run in this last few days. They have worked tirelessly. I would not miss to name Mr. Vitlani, Mr. Goswami, and of course, Mr. Ravindran, who made special efforts, and they've always been so nice on day-to-day basis whenever the requirements arise. Special mention needs to be made of Mr. Sanil Nair and the entire protocol team of his, who had made the journey in literal sense smooth and convenient, while giving salutation to each one who are the heroes, and where I include each one of you as well. I would remember Shri H.R. Khanna, when he saluted Yasuno Katu. H.R. Khanna is one of those justices whom many of us revere. I quote, "In the course of centuries, mankind has produced heroic figures, human made of sterner stuff, who have braved the fury of elements, have been pitted against the wrath of nature, have explored the hidden secrets of universe, and have reached the most inaccessible part of globe, all in the spirit of adventure, and to show that despite his physical disability, man is not so puny or frail, and that with doggedness, determination, and resolute, he can achieve what well nigh might seem impossible. They are the ones who blaze a trail of glory. They are the ones who carve a niche in the whole imperishable fame, and they are the ones who shall radiate light and inspiration for the youthful adventurers of the future." I unquote. In the process, I would say that and pray and wish that each one of you has got that quality to become that heroic figure with a resolute heart, determination, patience, and sensitivity. At the end, I would say that if I've caused any hurt, or if I failed you anywhere in your expectations, they are my shortcomings. Please pardon me for that. I will attempt, because this is a continuous journey, I will try to improvise myself wherever I failed. I would, to my colleagues, dear friends at the bench, would say, and as I've been always saying, that as rightly pointed out by Mr. Jadeja, that every chapter has to end. And when chapter ends, the new chapter begins. The Browning says that we always look at for a longer duration towards the closed door. We never see the open doors. The doors are always open because it is the existence which wants the work to be done to take the work from each one of us. My colleagues, I would say that I have, whatever, with all my humility, say that with my best light within, have attempted to do. And now it is kind of a, the baton is being handed over to them. Today, I'm so glad that the baton is, I'm actually handing over to a dear colleague and friend, Justice Desai. I wish him also the success. I wish every colleague of mine would end with Kavivar Tagore, my very favorite. માણસ તેની પ્રાપ્તિથી મહાન હોવો જોઈએ, તેની કીર્તિથી આગળ હોવો જોઈએ. તોમાર કીર્તિર ચે તુમી જે મહત, તાઈ તવ જીવન રે રથ, પશ્ચાતે પીલિયા જાય કીર્તિ રે તોમાર વારંવાર. It is because you are greater than your achievement that the chariot of life leaves behind your achievement again and again. જેનો જીવન રથ આમ આગે બઢે, તે કાળની રજથી રજોટાઈ નહીં. Thank you once again to each one of you. There shall be no court work now. Thank you.